This is the Middle Pillar Society, a meeting place for science, consciousness, spirituality, and the mystery of what it means to be here. A teaching from Daniel M. Tangway, author of The Middle Pillar, Science and the Sacred.
Kings, babies, scientists, and mystics all share a single, unavoidable habit. Every night, regardless of status or belief, every human being on Earth voluntarily surrenders their consciousness. We spend our waking hours surviving, planning, and defending our identities against the world. Then, biology issues a command that overrides every one of those efforts. We lie down, close our eyes, and drop our defenses entirely. We can track the mechanics of this surrender with precision. This data shows the transition from the high-frequency waking states of the brain into the rhythmic, slow-wave patterns of deep sleep. In this state, the body performs essential chores, repairing the immune system, consolidating memories, and clearing out metabolic waste. But even with these measurements, a gap remains between the mechanics of the brain and the evolution of the experience. We know what the brain does while we sleep, but science is still chasing the reason why life evolved to require our awareness of the external world to disappear so completely. The middle pillar hypothesis suggests we look at this transition differently. It proposes a shift in perspective, moving from a view of sleep as a biological shutdown to seeing it as a specific philosophical mechanism. If the universe is viewed as a single body, and we are localized perspectives within it, the act of going to sleep changes. The evening descent into unconsciousness becomes a return to the source. This return is necessitated by the specific requirements of the local self. During our waking hours, the brain must continuously construct and maintain a narrow model of a single person moving through a world. This model is expensive to maintain. It requires the brain to constantly track a personal history, a set of relationships, a list of responsibilities, and a map of potential threats. To experience anything at all, universal consciousness must exclude the rest of reality. You cannot experience here without shutting out there. Human sensations, tasting a strawberry or falling in love, require extreme localization. The vast network dims so individual identity focuses. This boundary of the self is a demanding narrative model. Every day, the effort required to keep it running eventually causes the structure to buckle under its own weight. This localized fatigue stands in contrast to the scale of the universe itself. On a macroscopic level, the cosmos is endlessly active. It never rests. At this very moment, stars are erupting and galaxies are shifting across the void. Down at the cellular level, life is constantly dividing and consuming. The activity of the whole is ceaseless. Because something is always happening somewhere, the infinite universe in its entirety can never actually sleep. This suggests a unique paradox. For an eternal, infinite consciousness to know what it feels like to be tired, it must first become a finite, embodied human. Getting tired at the end of the day is the singular moment the universe gets to experience needing a pillow. It is a specific feeling that the whole could never have on its own. Falling asleep acts as a gradual loosening of the tight grip on that local identity. We see this loosening in our dreams. The strict logic of our history and the rules of time dissolve, allowing impossible environments to feel entirely reasonable while we are inside them. When the brain stops dedicating its energy to managing the external world, consciousness enters a different relationship with itself. The internal components of the self are freed to drift. Under this framework, closing our eyes disconnects us from the burden of being only this. Every morning, the world reconstructs. Your name, your memories, and your responsibilities snap back into place to form a hard boundary. You open your eyes and say, "I'm awake." But the question remains, when the local self was gone, what exactly were you?